Bienvenue Magic players, I'm Insignios, and it's Karlov Manor spoiler season, so let's start with the cards that I'm legally obligated to talk about, the Surveil Lands. So, how much do you like temples? Well, these are different temples. They're not better, but in some ways they are. These are absolutely going to see play in Standard, especially with rotation around the corner, but Pioneer? It's a bit of a hard sell for the vast majority of decks. Decks want their lands to come in untapped so that way they can keep up with Rakdos mid-range and control, but combo decks, like the Hidden Strings deck or the quintessential Quintuple Quintorius combo, could use these. While these decks have used temples in the past, for the most part they want their cards to stay in the library, especially Quintorius. If you play either of these lands and find Spark Double, you're going to want to put it on the bottom of your library, not in your graveyard and certainly not in your hand. But Quint does often use Virtue of Persistence, so it's not that big of a loss. And Quint does play Leyline Binding, so it's a plus in that regard. Other than that, the two decks that I absolutely see playing these lands are Greasefang and Arclight Phoenix. I don't really think there's an explanation needed for these. Now Modern is the interesting case because of fetch lands, and they can actually grab these at the end of your opponent's turn to have them come in tapped and you get a free Surveil. That's cool. But they do come in tapped. Yes, the Triumphs do see play, but they have three things going for them. They cycle for 3, they have 3 land types, and they reduce the cost of a lane binding by 3. Triumphs have too many benefits to even be compared to the Surveil Lands. But for the most part, I can see the vast majority of decks playing one of these in their deck, simply because of fetch lands. But there are plenty of decks that I can see running 2 or perhaps more, specifically Dredge, Delirium, Delve, Deanimator, Darmagoyf, and dozens of combo decks.
Did somebody say Dredge?
I did. Do you have anything to add?
Oh, these cards will easily see play in Dredge, perhaps even have 4 copies. Maybe even they'll bring Dredge back up to prominence.
Do you really think this will work?
Who's the Dredge Master here?
And who's won with the Dredge deck recently?
I know you sleep.